All right, this is our reading lecture for week 2, and this one should be pretty brief. So we're talking a little bit about artificial intelligence this week. So welcome back to English 101. We talked about this last week. You're reading the story Hills Like White Elephants, and I recommended that as you read these short stories, again, it's not a literature class by any stretch, but we're just using literature as a springboard into writing. So as you're looking at these stories, think about the characters. We had the American and the girl. So we have two main characters. That's really about it in our story as you look at Hills Like White Elephants. We also have a setting. It's taking place, I think everybody probably noticed, it's a train station. It's in somewhere between Madrid and Barcelona. I think they're waiting on a train in Spain, and it's warm. It seems like maybe summertime because it's warm out. They're having a beer, and that's sort of our setting. We don't know exactly what time period. I don't think we know Hemingway died in 1961, so we are guessing it's significantly maybe before 1961, but not 100% sure on the date, I don't think, unless anybody else had gotten that from the reading. I've never been able to really determine. I could tell you when the story was written, so it's probably even earlier than that. But at any rate, probably in the 1920s, 30s, somewhere in there, actually. All right, and we know Hemingway's language is pretty concrete. He's pretty straightforward. He's not giving a lot of abstract or figurative kind of language. It seems pretty simple, but remember, there's a lot going on under the surface usually with Hemingway. We talked about his iceberg method. And then we know the point of view is third person. It's not somebody saying, I am at the train station, I am doing this, or you are at the train station, but it's the man and the girl. It's he, it's she. So we know we're in third person. Somebody's telling the story about somebody else. It's not their story. The narrator or the person speaking is not the man or the girl. And these themes. So look for these themes as you go through. Do you see certain themes? And these may be things you want to comment on with all the stories that we read throughout the semester. This again is the kind of a section from the story, and it gets sort of to the heart of what they're talking about here. That they're having this conversation. And if I do it, and this is very important. If you haven't figured this out yet, try to think about this. They are trying to make a decision, and I'm asking you to write your first essay about making a decision. What decision are they trying to make? And if you're not sure about that, maybe in the discussion, I bet there's something about that. So I'll take a look. I haven't been able to read all the discussion board posts yet, but we'll probably see that. So what are they trying to decide? That's an important part of the reading. So also for this week, for our reading summaries, read this article, Grand Challenges. This is not probably a very happy article, and this is even a couple of years ago, so I don't know. Some of these situations may have gotten worse. Maybe we've made progress on some of them, but there are some of these big problems, grand challenges, big challenges that we have in our world today. And then continue, and for this week, instead of writing about a fictional story, we're going to be commenting in the discussion board about grand challenges. So read grand challenges, and then our discussion prompt for this week, again, for that 10 points, very simple discussion, is in the discussion board for grand challenges. I talked about this earlier in the intro, so I won't go into this too much, but the journals are due at the end of the semester, so don't be stressed about them, but I would recommend going ahead and starting on the journals. All right, well, that is all we have, believe it or not, for our reading lecture. So like I said, I'm going to try to keep the reading and the rhetoric fairly brief each week. And I'm hoping that there's not more than an hour total for all 3 videos of you to watch. So it's kind of like coming to class for an hour. And then, of course, you have the work to do in the asynchronous world whenever you can. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll move on to the rhetoric and writing video, whichever order you're watching these in. And again, as always, send me an email if you have any questions or visit office hours. Thanks.